Our enemies will try to make you forget who you are.
Die beiden sind beste Freunde. Genauso wie du und Rudolf in diesem Alter waren.
Guten Tag, Kaiserin.
Ein perfekter, schwarzer deutscher Prinz. Würde das dir gefallen?
Yes, sir. I serve at the pleasure of the Kaiser.
Know that everything I did so that our people would be free.
What's the matter, Rudolf?
The Kaiser is like family. But raised as brothers to go against him.
Wilhelm is not your family. Your skin will always be the color of the rich Cameroonian soil. And they will always walk over it as if they own it.
Your family would rule under German protection. So why did you turn against us?
Your father's new ideas of independence are a cancer. I fear have infected you too.
Aber mit der Hinrichtung eines Jungen startest du einen Krieg.
Wir sind schon im Krieg.
They're inside the palace.
Kein Krieg. Lass mich sofort frei.
What you've just watched is part of our award-winning short film about Rudolf Douala Mangabell, a heroic king, resistance leader, and martyr in the liberation of Cameroon, a German colony in Africa. It's a powerful chapter of lost history that deserves to be reclaimed and turned into a multi-season TV series so we can tell the whole story to a new generation.
The most compelling stories are true ones. You can help us tell this true story of a real-life African hero by expressing your interest at angel.com/GermanKing. The German King is the story about the brave people who stood up against oppression and rebelled against German occupation.
It's very much a Moses story. Rudolf Douala Mangabell is an African born in Cameroon, and like Moses, he is raised as a royal in foreign courts, in his case, Germany. When he returns to Cameroon, he sees how his people are being subjugated, oppressed, and enslaved, and he rebels. He sacrifices his kingly comforts and riches for the good of his people. If you believe what Martin Luther King Jr. said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, then understanding this story of injustice and how it was overcome is important. And we see that this issue is still an issue today.
We've seen films of heroic overcoming of injustice before, but the German King offers a previously unseen view of African valor and reclaims a lost history for modern audiences.
By immortalizing these stories in film, we preserve and keep them fresh in the minds of this and future generations. Seeing Africans as royals with their culture and heritage celebrated positively instead of stereotypically, young boys and girls of color will see people who look like they do. They'll see themselves represented in robust, meaningful, dignified ways. You'll also love seeing traditional costumes, language, landscapes, architecture, the majesty and splendor of Africa during that time. And you'll also see, of course, the extravagance of the European royals and their palaces and culture.
In this series, you'll see humanity in its glorious goodness as you see the explorers and missionaries who spread the gospel and seek to end subjugation. But you'll also see those who wanted to do the exact opposite. You'll see what happens when greed and gluttony become a priority and the horrific consequences when we cease to see each other as human beings. We need your help to teach future generations what heroism looks like. Go to angel.com/GermanKing to show your support for this project now.
There's an old African proverb that says, "The tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunter until the lion speaks." This project finally gives a voice to the lion. And many of our cast and crew are native Africans or descendants of Africans.
Adetokunbo McCormick currently voices the role of Isaac in the hit Netflix animated series Castlevania. Other acting credits, which are a ton, include blockbusters such as Oscar-nominated Blood Diamond, Battle Los Angeles, Where We Met, and Captain America Winter Soldier.
The German King series writer, Glenton Richards, is a Writers Guild Award-nominated writer, having written on the hugely successful series The Expanse, as well as having worked on shows like Fargo and American Crime.
And we have some amazing other film professionals like Emmy Award-winning editor Stephanie Filo, multiple Grammy Award winner Mark Batson as a composer.
We are so thrilled to be working with Angel Studios for distribution. Angel Studios series, The Chosen, the world's biggest TV series on the life of Jesus Christ, has generated hundreds of millions of views and over $100 million. I feel like I can identify with Rudolf Douala Mangabell. We are both West African. We both grew up under colonial influence. I was born in Sierra Leone and I was raised in Kenya. And I attended a prestigious private English school, and everything I learned was about how amazing colonialism was, and learned nothing about the rich history and culture of Africa prior to European arrival. So very much like Rudolf, I was indoctrinated into a foreign culture with very little knowledge of my own.
Think about it. If asked to name a famous African, most Americans would say Black Panther. which is a fictional superhero. Some may say Nelson Mandela, but there are so many more real-life superheroes from Africa, and this series is going to share several other stories with you.
I grew up in Africa, and even I never knew African kings like Rudolf Douala Mangabell or Queen Yasintewa even existed. I would watch movies like Braveheart and Saving Private Ryan and Lincoln, and I would think, I wish we had more films that celebrated our great African heroes. So that inspired me to make the short film, The German King, but it really deserves to be turned into a multi-season TV series to tell the whole story.
We want the next generation to get to see these real-life heroes who lived in Africa. This is a series we hope will empower communities around the world to celebrate and honor their African heritage.
You can join us and express your interest in helping us tell this story of courage, sacrifice, faith, empathy, and love by visiting angel.com/GermanKing now.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the German King livestream. My name is Ade Tokubo McCormack. I'm the creator of the German King, and I'm joined by...
I'm Clinton Richards. I'm the executive producer and head writer of the series.
Thank you so much to everybody who has cross-posted, and let's just some technical difficulties. 1 second.
Yes.
Okay, 1 second.
And yeah, this is the joys of live streaming. Yeah.
We'll play the trailer again while we figure out the audio issue. 1 second, guys. Stand by.
Our enemies will try to make you forget who you are.
Die beiden sind beste Freunde. Genauso wie du und Rudolf in diesem Alter waren.
Guten Tag, Kaiserin.
Ein perfekter, schwarzer deutscher Prinz. Würde das dir gefallen?
Yes, sir. I serve at the pleasure of the Kaiser.
Know that everything I did so that our people would be free.
What's the matter, Rudolf?
The Kaiser is like family. But raised as brothers to go against him.
Wilhelm is not your family. Your skin will always be the color of the rich Cameroonian soil. And they will always walk over it as if they own it.
Your family would rule under German protection. So why did you turn against us?
Your father's new ideas of independence are cancer. I fear have infected you too.
Aber mit der Hinrichtung eines Jungen startest du einen Krieg.
Wir sind schon im Krieg.
They're inside the palace.
Feigling! Lass mich sofort frei!
And we're back! Hello everybody, my name is Ade Tokubo McCormack. I'm the creator of the German King. Thank you so much for joining us for our live stream today. And I'm joined by...
I'm Clinton Richards. I'm the writer and executive producer of the series. And we're so happy to have you guys here for our second live stream.
Woohoo!
We've had such a great interest from this for the show.
It's been incredible. So we've had over 500 people express interest.
550.
550 so far, which is amazing. So thank you to all of you who've expressed interest.
Thank you
You
so
can
much.
do so by going to angel.com/German King.
Don't get the website wrong.
Yeah, angel.com/German King.
We've said it so many times. You should have it drilled into your brain.
Into my brain. And it's right at the bottom of your screen. It's
Yes.
angel.com/German King.
And click like and subscribe, as the young kids will say.
Yes,
you know.
like smash that like button.
Yes, exactly.
Share it. Thank you to everybody who's also cross-posted on the various social media platforms, on your Facebook pages and your Instagram pages and TikTok and,
Exactly,
and all of that
yes.
good stuff.
And your Snapchats.
And your Snapchats. Your Snapchats.
Exactly. And feel free to drop any comments or questions in the comments box, and we'll be sure to answer any questions that you might have at the end of this program. We're also going to be joined by a very special guest.
We have a very special guest. We've got royalty in the house.
A royal guest.
A royal guest. A royal guest. We've got Prince Daniel joining us.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, Prince Daniel is the great-grandson of King Rudolf Douala Mangabell, who the German King series is about. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. He's an amazing human being and doing incredible things. So
Joseph, tuning in.
Joseph. Yay! Watching from Oregon. Woohoo!
All right, Sam.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks for joining.
Yes, Prince Daniel.
Prince
from
Daniel
Cameroon.
From Cameroon.
Yes.
Douala Mangabell.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like we should like roll out a red
A
carpet.
red carpet.
Or
It's going to be a virtual red carpet,
yeah,
right?
I should be throwing flowers on the roses on the ground, rose petals.
Amazing.
Yes. But I'm really excited for this.
Watching from Johnson City. Welcome, Book Lover 120. Thank you for joining us from Johnson City. So we've had, over 500 people express interest. We'll love to get another 20 people to express interest over the course of this live stream. And once again, you can express interest by going to angel.com/German King, and it's right at the bottom of your screen.
Yes, and if you've already expressed interest, feel free to share it with family members, friends, enemies, whomever you want to share it with.
Anybody you think would love this show. It's going to be incredible.
Yes. But if we reach a certain threshold of people expressing interest, then we can actually make this show into an actual series and show this amazing work of art, this amazing story. And to tell it to all the masses. And I think it'll be an amazing story. I think it's really going to be just so interesting. It like we've talked about like other shows to kind of compare it to. We've talked about shows like The Crown.
The Crown, yes,
We've
very much.
About
And Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've talked about a little bit of Game of Thrones, minus like the nudity.
The nudity.
Yeah. It won't be
It's a
that
PG-13 show, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It won't be that racy. And we also talked about shows like The Expanse.
Yes,
exactly.
Very much so.
Which
Quentin Richards was a writer on The Expanse, which is one of my very favorite shows of all time.
Awesome.
So, followed by the German King series. So, if you go to angel.com/German King and express your interest, we can make the show happen. So.
Awesome. Are we ready to bring on our special?
Well, yeah. So a few weeks ago, we got to screen the German King in Cannes.
Yes.
And it was an amazing experience. And we had our guest, Prince Daniel Douala Mangabell, join us. And what was amazing about it was he got to see, firsthand, how people were responding to the short film that we screened. And it was just amazing for them to also have real royalty in the house. And get to have a conversation with him and learn more about King Rudolf Douala Mangabell.
Exactly. Were there like lots of like curtsying going on?
There was a lot of curtsying, a lot of people didn't really know how to react. But one thing you learn about Prince Daniel is he's such a humble, amazing, gracious human being, and he put a lot of people at ease, including myself, because I've never really met royalty either. So it was wonderful to see him and just meet an all-around great human being.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we want to let's welcome Prince Daniel to the show.
Without further ado.
Hi, Prince Daniel.
Hello, Engleton. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How are you all? I'm fantastic. How are you?
Doing well.
Excellent.
Yeah, doing well. It's so nice to officially meet you. I didn't get a chance to meet you in person. I hear you guys had a very fun European vacation. Or,
it was a vacation.
Not a vacation, a work trip.
A working vacation.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys were in France, you were in Germany.
Yes,
did
a
you?
whole Europe tour.
The first question: did you guys try any delicacies while you were there?
Okay, so Prince Daniel sort of forced me. He was like, "When in France, you must do like the French." And so he had me try some delicacies. I had escargot for the first time.
Wow,
he actually taught me how to eat the escargot. There's a method to it, right? You have to take the fork and then dip it, and take the snail out of the shell and then eat it, and it was a whole thing. But it was really good, surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So thank you for that.
Some escargot.
Some escargot.
Here we go. It's really good.
Amazing.
Nice.
That face.
I got frog legs too.
Oh yeah, I had frog legs.
So let's see how this tastes.
Okay. What does it taste like, Ade?
It tastes like chicken.
That's actually really good too.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
Excellent.
It's good.
Excellent.
Wow.
So thank you, Prince Daniel, for teaching me how to eat these amazing delicacies.
Yeah. Okay. You guys are more cultured than me. I have not had escargot or frog legs, so next time we go to France, we'll have to try that.
So, yeah, Prince Daniel, it was incredible to have you in person at the different screenings that we had in Cannes. And what was your experience? I'd be curious to know.
So Cannes was amazing. Number one, thank you, Ade, for allowing me to come with you to have a true film experience or movie experience that few people can have. Just everything was amazing. Landing, arriving in Cannes, and then literally being in the festival and walking around with thousands of people who are in the film industry. Specifically, we were able to show the German King in two different locations in two different kind of areas, and one specifically in the American Pavilion, and the other one was Diversity in Cannes, and then so just incredible, and then obviously this is a movie about my great grandfather, so it's very personal, but just to be there, with this energy, where all these super hyper talented people, working on their art, and then also seeing a few big stars walking around, with their entourage. That was interesting. But just to, thank you again, Ade, just to be there with you and then actually be part of the process of making a movie or a TV series. And just, the meetings, the multiple meetings we've had with different people from the film industry and then just thinking, about the TV series and obviously presenting the German King to the people in Cannes, and it seems to have done very well. People were just so excited, it's an excellent short film. You could just feel the excitement in the people, and then kind of look at their eyes and listen to them, and they're just like, I want more. I want to know more about Rudolf Douala-Mangabell, and just amazing. Every single moment, barely slept. One thing some people might know or not know: when you're making a movie, you do not sleep. You're just it totally consumes you. You're working 24 hours a day, and that's kind of the life of an artist. As at England might know, you're so engrossed, and when you're doing something you love, you're even more engrossed. And you never get tired. And then thank you again, Ade, and Chris Freeman too. I was allowed to actually do work and be, and actually not just kind of shadow Ade, but actually work in helping make this movie. And that was a unique lifetime experience, just to be able to be on the phone, communicate with people, set up meetings, talk, to industry people when we were talking to people and they were asking questions and I was giving them information about the story of Rudolf and, kind of like be in the moment and, you're making a TV series or you're making a film and being super involved, and that was a highly unique experience, and obviously it's a personal story and it was just amazing.
Just a shout out to an anonymous person who just expressed interest in the amount of $500. So thank you very, very much.
That's amazing.
I really appreciate you. Yes. And once again, if you'd like to express interest, just go to angel.com/German King. And thank you very much, Prince Daniel. In fact, one of the things that we have done is we've invited Prince Daniel to come on board as a consultant for the German King series because we would love to portray his great-grandfather's story, King Rudolf Douala-Mangabell, with accuracy and with dignity. So we just want to say thank you again for your support and your family's support. And we're very excited to have you on board.
For sure. And for those people, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're welcome. And like you've known and you over the last few years and more so in the last few months, you've met some of my family members. You've seen how excited we are. Like I've said, people, kind of the Hollywood studio is a megaphone of culture, right? We spread information and culture throughout the world, right? And this is one great way where we're just so happy that, Rudolph's story is being told. It's an extremely important story. Obviously, and starting from Cameroon, but to Africa, to the world. We thank you, Ade. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
No, absolutely. And yeah, for those people that are tuning in and may not know, The German King is the TV series that we're creating is based off of the short film that you guys created. And it won a number of awards at various film festivals. It was recently screened at Cannes, at the Cannes Film Festival, and it's just really done really well and got the interest of Angel Studios, who wanted to make this into a TV series. And so if you, once again, if you can, click the angel.com, go to angel.com
/German King.
Yes. We're both getting our tongue side today, and express interest and share it with family and friends, and hopefully we can make this into actual TV series.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And so one of the things right after Cannes, where did we go? We went to Berlin, right, Prince Daniel? And so what was that experience for you? Sort of going and walking the footsteps of your great-grandfather, King Rudolf Douala Mangabell, and seeing the places that he lived and the experiences that he went through.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. It was like, it's hard to describe because I'm so much in the moment, and I do that a lot. And then, so as an example, what's the castle that we went to in Berlin where Wilhelm lived, and spent some time there, and just, I can't explain it. You're just in there and right there, exactly. And then and we walked around there. King Rudolf spent some time there, and just kind of like I'm just walking around, and I'm like, what was he doing? What was he thinking? Imagine a young man from Cameroon in the late 19th century, a black man, walking around, and not just any parts of Germany or Berlin, or in the royal castle, and just I'm imagining, and one of the things I've tried to do is just trying to put myself in his being, and just being around there, and you're not at home, you're not in Cameroon, and all that's happening, and just incredible. And then we were able to spend a lot of time walking around Berlin and to places he visited. So you can kind of see it in my mind. You're just in awe, you're just like, you're just in constant awe, And this castle is actually interesting. It looks a lot like Versailles in Paris,
mm-hmm.
France. So that was it. And I had like 30 minutes of being by myself and walking around and getting a sense and getting a feel, like, what was it like? He was walking around here. What was he doing? What was he thinking? And even the winter, he'd never experienced a European winter because
Can you imagine? I remember my first winter in New York. I was like, this does not feel real. How can human beings live like this? I was frozen to my core. I couldn't believe it.
That's hilarious that you said it, because I'm from Texas, and so I actually went to visit New York when I was after college. I was thinking about moving either to New York or Los Angeles. I get off the plane, I step outside. I was like, it is way too cold here. It's like people cannot live in these conditions. And so so imagine Rudolf coming from Cameroon to Germany, and I could not imagine trying to live out there.
The late 1880s, it's not like 20 years ago. Like number one, and then also just imagining his journey. How did he get to Germany? Like getting on a boat from Douala, going around like Senegal and going to, like that whole to Hamburg, right? I'm assuming that's where he went from Douala around like Senegal up through Portugal and France, and then getting to Hamburg. I assume that would have been the port of entry at that point. Just incredible. It's hard to describe. It's one of these like moments you have to be there and kind of imagine, and then really kind of slow down and try to understand, like how he was feeling, how he was thinking, and then and he was a monarch, and there's kind of extra pressure on him and all that stuff. So it was incredible.
Yeah, we were actually just talking just a few days ago about like that contrast of him leaving West Africa or leaving Cameroon, and getting on that boat and then arriving in Germany. He arrives on the train after a long boat ride, and he's literally the only black person there, and he probably just like an alien a little bit, and it's just like what could he imagine? Like, what is he feeling? All those things, especially as a young person, not like an adult or whatever. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting to kind of see and to visualize on the show. So we're really excited.
We're excited to tell that story.
Yeah.
And so after we left Berlin, we went to Hamburg because there is this huge exhibit, and I encourage everybody to go and see it. It's called the Hey Hamburg, Do You Know Rudolf Douala Manga Bell? And it goes in depth into who he is, his history from when he left Cameroon and came to Germany. And it was incredible. Prince Daniel, would you like to talk about that experience a little bit?
Yeah, that was incredible. It's the best exhibition that I've seen of Rudolf Douala Manga Bell in my life. I think I've seen a few over the years, but so specifically the museum, there was a lot of highly educated people who did a lot of research on Rudolf, and not just Rudolf Douala Manga Bell, but also the area as well. And it was just the detail of information they were able to get, the pictures they were able to get. And then the other thing was their passion, for their curiosity towards Rudolf and his impact, not just specifically in the region, but his impact in Africa, his impact in the world. And you could see something incredible to meet all these intellectuals, but let's say who were amazed to meet my cousin, Princess Marie Douala Manga Bell, and myself, and then obviously they could have been happy, they're having an exhibition about Rudolf Douala Manga Bell, and then here we are, the descendants of him, and we're going through the exhibition with different people, and they're talking about different things, and it was just an incredible moment, and then also during the time I just continued going through the exhibition and reading the things, and it was just again similarly a surreal moment. This is a picture of Rudolf and me, and just I have another one where I'm in Cameroon too, but it's just a moment, where I'm just and yeah, this is an incredible picture too. It's just a small moment, just kind of I don't want to explain it. You're just feeling and trying to understand and just be there, and obviously he's my great grandfather. I know about him all my life, but there's nothing like having something like that presented of him, and being able to talk to a lot of these intellectuals, who were we love what we're doing. We love to talk about Rudolf. We love, we want Ade and us, we want to tell the world about Rudolf Douala Manga Bell. So it's just incredible, and met some, and what's Henrik Langsdorff?
Henrik Langsdorff. Yes, he was an
incredible artist, and he had an incredible kind of multimedia video. I don't know how to explain it. How would you explain it that day?
It was a multimedia video, and it was part of the art installation. And he also gave a talk, which was just so fascinating, and everybody got to learn a lot more. Was there anything that you learned from the exhibition that you hadn't learned before about Rudolf Douala?
I didn't learn a lot there. I think I learned more a little later when I was in France. And you've asked me that before, but I don't remember anything new that I can remember learning. Well, actually, no, it was the pictures that were amazing. There was this huge book, and then it just had massive photos, and then it had a picture of Rudolf when he was younger. He had a picture of Emma, my great grandmother, Ngome, and man, she was beautiful. She was just a incredibly beautiful woman, and then her and also just the strength of character. Yeah, yes. And then and the strength of character you can kind of see in the photos, and then picture, trying to imagine what Douala, Cameroon was in the late 19th century, early part of the 20th century. Um, just, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to take this time just to say thank you so much for coming on and agreeing to be a consultant for this project. It's so nice to have someone that has experienced that family history that can give us some of the details that might known in some of the history books and stuff like that. So it's really a joy to have part of this.
If you're welcome. This is like it's a work of passion. It's obviously it's family, so it's obviously highly personal and kind of really talk with that day. It's just it's a story that needs to be told, not just from him specifically, but other African greats, other greats from all over the world. That sometimes we live in the United States, the history doesn't teach us much, or kind of like Ade was saying earlier, like I grew up, I didn't in Sierra Leone, I didn't know, or throughout in Africa, I didn't know about him, things like that. So I'm so excited, I'm so happy to be doing this, and it's going to be great. It's already great, and it's going to be even greater.
Yeah, and real quick, we just had a couple people express
Lynn
interest.
S. express interest.
And
Thank you very
that,
much.
Yeah.
And before that,
we had another anonymous for $150.
Thank you very much.
So thank you, everyone.
We're a few steps closer to reaching our goal. First of all, an additional 20 people who are going to express interest in the German King series.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Once again, you can go to angel.com/German
King and click that express interest button. And
don't forget to like, subscribe, comment.
Exactly, yes.
If you have any questions, we'll have Prince Daniel with us for a little longer, and we'll be able to ask him some questions at the end of the live stream.
We'll have a little Q&A, and so you can ask an actual
prince
some questions. That would be awesome. So I wanted to ask you, why do you think it is important to tell your great-grandfather's story, as a TV series?
I think it's extremely important. Kind of countries in Africa, Asia, or South America, especially when you live in the United States, you don't hear a lot about not just monarchs or monarchies or emperors or empires or whatever. So I think it's important that the world knows what he did, his act, and his actions and his.
Wow! Sorry, just not to cut you off, Prince Daniel, but an anonymous person just expressed interest in the amount of 4,000. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I think our mouths both dropped at the same time.
Thank you very, very much. This means a lot. Thank you. And once again, if you'd like to express interest in the German King, go to angel.com/German King. Thank you very much, Father. Thank you. Sorry, Prince Daniel. Please go on.
And that's it. Just his impact on, obviously, the Douala people, the Sawa people, his impact on Cameroon, his impact in post-colonial Africa in some ways, in terms of, fighting for independence, becoming independent, kind of his the Germans were there as a colonial power, and then, and just fighting for respect, and that's kind of as an African, we're still kind of fighting that. So, but he's just an individual, great human being, who's a martyr, who gave up his life for his people, and that's real, we're lacking heroes a little bit, right now. So kind of I think that was said earlier, a superhero, kind of an individual who makes a decision thinking about his people, and try to, save, not just, he was also very intellectual and very ahead of his time, I think I was part of the training and the living he had in Europe. So he was more kind of, I think, independent Africa, an Africa that's, on part of the, at level with the world powers, kind of things like that. So, yeah.
Totally.
One of the things that you did when we were at the Mark Museum, you met with the descendants of the Oster family, who are the first people that Rudolf Douala Manga Bell stayed with when he went to Germany. Could you talk to us about that experience and that reunion and what that meant to you?
It was incredible. I think I didn't know him. He's a little older than I am. So it was a little, one thing I wish, I don't speak German and he doesn't speak English or French, but it was kind of like a little awkward at the beginning. Like, you know about someone and then you meet them and then, and I just wish, and then we went out to dinner afterwards with my cousin Princess Marilyn right here. And here he is talking about, specifically, that's a picture taken at his grandfather's house, and it's hard. We're not seeing the picture, but Rudolf is there, and then just amazing. Like, imagine again 19th century Germany and Holland, a small town, and here is this young black, king or prince, coming in, and we were just like, number one, just there's a lot of things going on in my mind. Like, they accepted him, and they helped raise him, and then kind of like I didn't sense any racism or anything like that. They just, and even when you look at the pictures, it was just part of the family, so it was wonderful to meet him. He was a very quiet, shy person. The thing that I wish I'd done was able to talk to him a little bit more. But you just kind of have that look, and you look at each other's eyes, just a kind of understanding, and that's a way of communicating as well. But it was just amazing. Like, and I wish we'd had time to go to Holland, and actually go to possibly see where Rudolf kind of spent his time, but we're so busy. Like, it was just incredible. And then obviously, what'd you say?
I said we were working. We were working. It was a very busy trip.
We were working.
Next time, should the series happen, we will do it, right? Yeah.
So it was
just a reminder, if you'd like to express interest, you can go to angel.com/GermanKing. And big thank you to everybody who's expressed interest so far.
We had another person of expressed interest in $150.
Yes,
sorry. It's so interesting. And next time we go to Germany, I definitely want to go with you guys. I'm gonna have to work on my German.
Me too. I was not very good at speaking German on this.
I feel like we're all a little bit rusty on our German. But you speak French, correct? Is that?
I speak
or am I making that up?
Yeah, I speak French.
Okay,
I
cool.
I don't speak any German, and but it's
okay.
Yeah, but when we were there, a lot of people spoke English, right? When we were in Germany.
Yeah, a lot of people spoke.
So I mean, you can cut yourself some slack. You speak French and Spanish fluently.
And English,
exactly. And English, yes, exactly.
He was our saving grace in France. I was like, I don't really speak French. Help me.
Baguette. That's all you need to know. Baguette.
Exactly. Un baguette, s'il vous plaît.
So after we left Germany, and it was an incredible trip, we went back to France, and we went specifically to Paris to meet the oldest surviving relative of King Rudolf Douala Manga Bell, a lady named that you affectionately call Tante Sarah. And so can you tell us about that? Tante Sarah.
And then, so this is a picture of Tante Sarah sitting, and then her son's right there. And then this is in her place in Paris. And then just, like a emotional moment. I actually only met her like about 6 years before, and I think I might have met her when I was much like a baby, but I obviously don't remember. She's 95 years old. And her mind is like super sharp. Like physically you would never think she's 95. And number two, and her memory, and like but more like it was just you have moments in life where you're just like, you're actually in the moment, and this is very special. And thank you, Ade. He asked me to interview her, so I was interviewing her. And then just amazing, like being in her presence and listening, right? Like listening to her stories, and then like kind of we have to listen to our elders, remember that, but just more like listening to her and there's just her moments, right? And talking about the royal court, right? And then being around there, and then her experiences. I don't think she was around I don't think she was born when Rudolf was around, because but she talked about her experiences when at that moment, and then also the knowledge of history, right? That she was able to talk about, and then also the passion still at her age, and when we're doing the interview, and she's just like this, and just kind of, so it was a very incredible moment, and then just everything about it, like us getting in and then talking and explaining to her what Ade and Keith and John and I are doing there, our purpose, is our purpose in terms of this amazing story, and her allowing her to come into her place, number one, and then allowing us to interview her, and then just a beautiful moment. This was amazing. Like I didn't know Ade had video me, but I was like, so Ade again allowed me to interview her, and I did another interview. And thank you, Ade, for that. That was an incredible experience. But just listening,
it was incredible to watch you with this lady and capture that on camera. It was absolutely magical. And once again, you're talking about respect for elders. You just realize how really it is important. We got just the first-hand information from this lady who was so passionate and just so, she just told us so many things that I had never even known about Rudolf Douala Manga Bell, or things that you'll never find in the history books, things you'll never find printed about her story. She was able to tell us. And what's really exciting about that is we're going to actually have the entire version of the interview, and that's going to be online pretty shortly. So
very cool. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, and for audiences to know, it's like we're not going to make this into like a documentary. It's not going to be like word for word that everything happened. We're going to obviously take some dramatic license and that kind of stuff. But we wanted to have people like Prince Daniel to give us some of the firsthand knowledge, some of the knowledge from the family, so that way we can tell an accurate story, or at least a very close to accurate story of Prince Rudolf Douala Manga Bell. So yeah, it's really exciting to have you. Really exciting to have gone on this trip, or for have you guys to have gone on this trip. And yeah, I learned so much. It was incredible.
And part of, like, as you're saying, Clinton, part of, like, even like in Cannes, there was a moment when after the German King was shown, and then they allowed the directors of the movies. I think Ade was a little upset because the what's her name kind of introduced me. Do you remember that moment where she? Yeah. And he wanted to do it, but more like I turned around and looked at people's eyes and their reaction. Right, number one, kind of there is. Like my cousin is the king right now, Jean-Yves in Cameroon. There are monarchies, or there are, still around, their eyeballs were like, wow, this is, like they said, like, the movies that I've shown, like, have been kind of the Black Panther, but that's Marvel, right? It's not real, or Coming to America.
This is real life, yeah.
Like that's a fiction, right? This is real life human being, so it's just amazing.
Really.
And on that note, we'd love to show you some of the audience reactions that we had.
Yes, but first, wanted to say thank you to Amy T for expressing interest for $1,000.
Amy T, thank you so much. Yes. You're amazing.
And then we had another person right afterwards express interest for $150. So thank you so much.
Thank you all very much.
All this is really helpful to getting this series actually made. And so, continue to express interest, share with family and friends.
Like, comment, subscribe, share.
Yes.
And go to angel.com/German King to express interest.
Exactly.
And it's right there at the bottom of your screen.
Yes.
So we're going to actually go back to Cannes and actually show you some of the audience reactions that we had from people who saw the screening of the short film, The German King. And it was really exciting for me to actually hear what they had to say, and also for Prince Daniel, and just see the impact that this show, Should It Go To series, will have on the world.
Absolutely.
So take a look, don't go anywhere.
Oh, I thought it was phenomenal. I've heard about this movie for a little bit. I'd yet to see it. I mean, just to see it here in Cannes, it was beautiful. It's stunning. I thought it was so concise, and it was such a tight, short film. The timing was perfect, the editing, the structure, the acting was beautiful, just beautiful performances. Of course, the DP, I thought did an amazing job. It was just lit and shot beautifully, and I thought it just, it had like that perfect short film. It was a mini movie, but it had the perfect short film kind of experience for me. It was beautiful acting. It had a story that had such depth and meaning, and it wasn't one that people really know about. It made me want to go look it up. Like, I want to go learn more about these people and about the main character. I thought the lead role of the main performance was just beautiful. Just the stillness of the shots. I thought the directing was just classic old style film directing. I kind of got chills when at the end I didn't know that it was going to be a TV series. I was like, oh, brilliant. And I think people are just telling great stories. I thought the filmmaker did an incredible job. Incredible. I loved it. I'm so happy I was here to see it in Cannes.
It was very, very well done. All the historical details, the costumes, and the emotions. I cried when I saw it. I mean, and I also think that it's very important to shoot and bring stories that talk about real stories that can inspire the world. And that's what I think the cinema, the filmmaker should do. I mean, bring and put the focus on a story that can change the world and can be inspiring for people.
Oh my God, The German King was incredibly powerful. The story, I was just blown away by the story. First of all, it's the story I didn't know about, and I think that's one of the powerful things about filmmaking and telling stories. We learn about these incredible people, real life people. I love how powerful the performances were, how powerful the storytelling was, and just in general it was incredibly touching and inspirational.
Hi, my name is Monica Scarbelis. I'm the director of the American Pavilion's Emerging Filmmaker Showcase. And I'm so excited to have The German King screen here today. After 2 years, it was part of the 2020 Emerging Filmmaker Showcase. And Aid was ready and willing and ready to get on that plane in 2020, but we had this little pandemic happen, and so I'm excited to be able to bring him back today. We had a virtual screening of The German King in 2020, and which was great, and we had an opportunity to do a Q&A with Aid, and having just it's such a timely story, and it has so much to say, and seeing it become a TV series is so exciting to be able to see that come to fruition. And I'm sure that with all of the work that's put involved with it over the years, that it's exciting.
Amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, so it was so cool hearing so many people just extol their praises for the short film.
It was. Well, also the other thing what people don't know is we've had a pandemic for a couple of years. So we were unable to go and actually be physically present with people when we had these screenings. A lot of these screenings were virtual. So we didn't have the audience interaction. We didn't know what this short film actually meant to people.
Yeah.
So to be able to be in Cannes and just talk to people and hear what it meant, and also having Prince Daniel there and his presence and hearing, it made it real. Just, we had this short film about his great-grandfather, and then you actually had the living embodiment of this man. It was, for me, was so touching, Prince Daniel, and it made what we're doing just so much more important, if that makes sense. And I'm so excited, I'm so honored to just have you on board, and also talk about the amazing ways that you and your family are continuing in this extraordinary man's legacy. And I don't know if that's something you can talk about briefly, Prince Daniel.
So I mean, like, kind of like going back to what my prince says, his spirit is in us, you know, like, and you know, I'm not a deeply spiritual person, but I can, you know, even as I'm talking right now, I can kind of almost feel him, right? You know, and it's just something outside of myself, something you don't have a choice, you have to do, you know, so it's just, it's legacy, like, you know, like we're blessed that he gave us what he's given us, and it's just one of these things we just continue. And it might even be after my lifetime, you know, but it's just, you don't, I don't know how to explain it. You don't have a choice. You just go and you do whatever it takes to talk about Rudolf and to tell the world about Rudolf. And obviously, you know, Ade is his vision and is incredible in helping do this. So our family's so happy that you're doing this, Ade, and we're just so excited, you know.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very, very much, Prince Daniel. And once again, if you guys have any questions for His Royal Highness Prince Daniel, please put them in the comment section, and we will read out the questions at the end of the live stream. And actually, we have a question from a viewer. Is there an appropriate form of address, like Your Royal Highness or Your Majesty? Prince Daniel, I'll leave that for you to answer.
So I'm really humble. I'm not like, I think I've grown up obviously from a you know, royal family, but I am a prince, you know, and stuff like that. But I don't introduce myself. I live in the United States, you know. I don't go around saying I'm Prince Daniel wherever I go. It's in me.
We'll say it. We'll say
We'll say,
you know,
directly in the eye. This is
so
Royal Highness.
Just, you know, call me Daniel, Prince Daniel, whatever you feel comfortable. I'm completely okay with that.
Awesome. That's very cool. Another question.
Another question from a viewer. What moral genre will this show have constant? Bravery, romance, sacrifice, or the whole shebang? Very, very good question. It's all of those, I would say. Yeah. It's about bravery. It's about doing things in the face of adversity, doing things when it actually matters, and actually standing up and being counted for. One of the things that Martin Luther King Jr. says best, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And you have this man saying, yes, I mean, there's injustice in Cameroon, but who's to say that this is not going to continue around Africa, around the globe? And let's nip it in the bud now, so this doesn't be something that's going to happen 50 years from now, 100 years from now. And look what's happening today. There's injustice constantly. And so we always have to keep striving against injustice, striving against evil. And also when things go, when we see something, we should really, really say something. And so it's taught me is actually to stand up and say, when I see something that may not be right or I may not agree with, I speak up, and also I try to be the voice for the voiceless. And I think that's what it's taught me. And of course, there's going to be some romance, because Rudolf Duala Manga Bell was a bit of a
playboy, maybe? Well, maybe not.
But we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, and then to answer last, go ahead.
Oh, well, specifically for romance, like Rudolf was not a playboy. You know, he was an anti-playboy. He actually he fell in love with his wife Emma Ngomendayas, and like he was totally in love. It was like a real movie story type of love, and you know, his father was a polygamist, but Rudolf decided to just marry the woman he loved and have a family with her.
Yeah,
you know?
No, that's actually so funny that you say that. I was joking, but we actually were talking the other day about, you know, the Rudolf, the contrast between Rudolf and his father. Yes, his father was a polygamist and was loved the ladies, and but Rudolf fell in love and married
one amazing woman.
Yeah, exactly.
And to answer the last part of that question, sacrifice. Yes. What does it mean to do the right thing even when you could potentially sacrifice everything? and potentially even your life. And that is something that is extraordinary about Rudolf Douala Manga-Bell's life, and in some ways almost Christ-like. You know, he just decided to sacrifice his life so that everybody literally could live, and it's an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
And I think about the night. One thing that I learned actually is the night before he was to be hung. You know, so the German military allowed him to go say goodbye to his family, and he had one night where he just like with his wife and his children, because Alexander was in Germany, just imagining and talking about sacrifice, and he was aware, I am going to die tomorrow. You know, I am going to die to save my family. I am going to die to save my people. You know, so you kind of try to put yourself in that mindset where it's not about you, right? You know, it's about the great, right? You know, and then and imagine the moral strength of the individual wanting to do that, right? So it's just it's incredible.
Yeah, it's like we would like to all think that we could be as brave as him in that situation, but I'm not sure I could.
I know, me too. It's extraordinary. I don't know if I could. But I would like to think I would.
I would be like, oh, so if I go back there, I'm gonna die,
or that's freedom. I'm gonna choose freedom, right? Sorry, but no kidding. But that's what makes his life even more amazing. More
that's what makes him, you know, in many ways, almost like a superhero.
I think it's super heroic to do something like that. No ordinary human being can actually do that. I mean, to quote Superman, with great power comes great responsibility, and I think that was something Rudolf Douala Manga-Bell took extremely seriously. So one of the other questions, Prince Daniel, when and how did you first get to know about the short film? Did your family help provide resources when they were doing the research?
Yeah, so about 3 years ago, my nephew in Paris sent me a message, and I think about the German King that Ade was working on. I was like, what? You know, so and then so I contacted Ade directly through Instagram, and I was like, who are you? You know, like, what are you doing? My great grandmother, I don't know, you know. And then
and I was like, is this Prince Daniel? I was like, am I being punked? Is this real? This is incredible.
And then that's how I found out about the short film. And then and Ade and I met, and I think Ade and I just obviously we come from similar diplomatic backgrounds. We're Africans. We have a very similar vision about how Africans want to be seen in this world, you know, and that's big picture, and how do we want to be represented? And then in terms of my family helping out, so the way I've been helping out is I'm a fulcrum, a point of contact. And like today, even I was talking to Ade, he had some questions, or yesterday, and it's just ongoing. When you're making something this big, there's so much information, right? And so much information that might not be necessarily on the internet, in books. So like, you know, I'm in constant contact asking my family, what about this moment? Do you remember this picture? You know, and what does it mean? Or where was this? Like, you know, and then as we've been going on, we've just been getting stuff, you know, little by little, sometimes a lot. And
Absolutely. Yeah, and he'll send me pictures or text messages or letters from Rudolf Douala Manga-Bell, and it's just this gold mine of information that I'm like, keep sending it to me, because I'm also such a geek. I love history. So every time I get one of those, I'm like, this is incredible. I call Glenton at 2 a.m. I'm like, you'll never believe what I have. This pen, he's like, man, what are you doing? Talk to me tomorrow, Clay.
Today, actually, there's a picture of it's actually, I don't know if you have that, if we have that right now, but it's an incredible picture of Rudolf and his father, Manga Dumbe, and then Alexander, and then the pastor who helped raise Alexander. Yeah, there's two, and it's just 1902. You know, here are these royal monarchs in Germany, and they're sitting like they belong.
They belong, right? So
like they're not
dignified.
Like comfortable, and they're like, we belong here, you know, like, and just, you know, it's just ongoing. I'm also learning, you know, as I'm going. I'm not 100% fully knowledgeable everything that happens in Rudolf or what's happened in my family, but I'm still learning, you know. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Another question from a viewer: what is the process for getting a film shown at Cannes? Were there characters or milestones in that process which were memorable? Yes, I mean, in fact, we'll actually do a whole other live stream about the festival experience and whatnot. But it was just getting a short film done and just submitting it and getting it submitted and just making sure that we had also done our research and made the best film that we could. And that took getting extraordinary actors. It also got getting an amazing DP. His name is Justin Janowitz. He was our director of photography. Absolutely phenomenal. Stefanica Ake, who is our production designer. Hannah Sturwold, our editor. Incredible actors like Constance Ajuma and Scotty Thompson and Raphael Corkil. And just really the whole shebang, and getting just everybody together to just create something that was a wonderful, wonderful piece of art and something that was impactful and ultimately we hope make a difference. So,
and on that note, we can in a future live stream we can talk more in detail about the process of making the short film.
Yes, actually that's what we'll do.
And we're actually just about out of time right now. So just want to wrap up and say thank you so much, Prince
Daniel, thank you very, very much for joining us.
It's been wonderful. I appreciate it, and we'll be out there. Please help us out. We're trying to make an incredible TV series that's just amazing. Thank you all for participating and pledging. We're so appreciative. Thank you.
And once again, if you'd like to express interest in the German King, just go to angel.com/German King. Right? Yeah, angel.com/German King. And once again, a huge thank you to everybody who's expressed interest so far. And we're one step closer to getting the German King series made. Thank you all so very much. And we'll see you next time.
Yes. See you later.
You.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Our enemies will try to make you forget who you are.
Die beiden sind beste Freunde. Genauso wie du und Rudolf in diesem Alter waren.
Guten Tag, Kaiserin.
Ein perfekter, schwarzer deutscher Prinz. Würde das dir gefallen?
Yes, sir. I serve at the pleasure of the Kaiser.
Know that everything I did so that our people would be free.
What's the matter, Rudolf?
The Kaiser is like family. But raised as brothers to go against him.
Wilhelm is not your family. Your skin will always be the color of the rich Cameroonian soil. And they will always walk over it as if they own it.
Your family would rule under German protection. So why did you turn against us?
Your father's new ideas of independence are cancer. I fear have infected you too.
Aber mit der Hinrichtung eines Jungen startest du einen Krieg.
Wir sind schon im Krieg.
They're inside the palace.
Feigling! Lass mich sofort frei.